Hey everyone, this is Space Marine 2112 back at you again with another album ranking, tier list, whatever the heck video today. Today we are going to be ranking the albums of one of my top 5 favorite bands, probably Kansas. What a great band. I've seen them only once, sadly, with Ronnie Platt, which, of course, he's a great singer. He played a little bit with Shooting Star, another one of my favorite bands, for a couple of years, and now he's Kansas's lead singer. He had some struggles with cancer pretty recently, but I guess he's still going. He's fighting hard, so got to give him credit for that. Again, there's an album that is missing here on this tier list. I don't know why people don't update him. There's probably a way I could update it. I haven't really looked into it. I'm not going to mess with it because I'm too lazy to actually prepare before my videos. But you know what? You're going to get it raw and unedited. That's what you're going to get. So absence of presence, I'm going to tell you where I would put it and just kind of ignore the fact that it's not here. So yeah, on the screen capture, you know, the title card for this video, you're not going to actually see it ranked here, but just know it will be ranked because I actually do like that album quite a bit, but it's just not here because I have no clue. Anyway, because this is important to my life, and I found some other YouTubers that have been doing this, and I thought, you know what, that's kind of a good idea. I thought of doing a Bible verse of the day or Bible verse of the video. I don't know. If I do 2 videos tonight, one this, one probably some more gameplay videos, then it might just be the same verse, and that would get kind of lame. So I'll figure out where I want to go with that. But because the Lord has changed my life, and it's just a really good thing. I've decided to do a verse of the day. Just it's uplifting, and I think it'd be good for everyone, even if you're not a Christian or into any sort of religion. It's just usually an uplifting thing to think about. So I'm going to get it here from the Bible app. The verse of the day here is 1 Corinthians 3:7. So then neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but God who causes the growth. I think this is a good one because it shows that as humans, there's nothing that we can really truly do. I mean, our efforts are nothing without God, and that shows whenever we try to do things ourselves, we usually mess up. like me trying to put together a video most of the time. But if you rely on God and for Him to take control, everything will be great. I mean, no reason to worry or anything. Things will always end up in victory. So I hope that has brought up your spirits today, and we are going to now go into the album ranking. All right. So first, I added a does not qualify column because always never the same here, though good. It has that London Symphony Orchestra and everything on it. It's mainly covers and redoings of their songs with the orchestra. It's good. I don't know why they included it as the studio. I mean, I guess it's technically a studio album, but I am not going to consider it because it's not new songs for them. So I am going to put it down here as does not qualify. Again, we are kind of going at this off the cuff today, so I have not previously ranked these. I kind of have a general idea of where they're going to go in my mind, but I'm going to be kind of figuring out on the fly, which I think is more fun. Anyway, some people have this thing drawn out in like papers discussing like, oh, this is why I put this here and here. I'm just going to kind of go through as I do and have fun. So anyway, first of all, we have got Audio Visions. Now, this is a great album. They were, this is the last one with Steve Walsh before he left, and then he came back later. They were starting to get kind of more into a Christian motif with a lot of their songs, which, Kerry Livgren was the main component of kind of moving in that direction. I think Phil Earhart also was moving that way, maybe Dave Hope. I'm not 100% sure who in the band was kind of moving in that direction, but I really like when they started doing that. Now, I will say at this period, they did not have as much of that classic, I'm talking Point of No Return and before kind of sound. I think that kind of wavered off around the Monolith time frame. We're starting to get into like shorter songs here, still great, violin and everything, but it's just, it's a little bit more, I can't really say commercialized, but commercialized. Because Carry On My Wayward Son is on Left Overture, and that's their biggest hit, but I feel like their songs got a little bit more easy to, put out there and listen to. There's no long epics anymore, just jam sessions like on the first couple albums, but I think it's a really good album. I guess I'll go through the tracks on here. I mean, I pretty much got most of them on my, or do I? I mean, Relentless and Hold On are some of my, oh my gosh, what the heck is up with this? Okay, Relentless and Hold On are the ones that I got, but I think Curtain of Iron is really good. I can't remember these other songs. None of them really hit me, these other ones. I think No Room for a Stranger or Backdoor were decent, if I remember. It's a good album. It's not my favorite album, but the songs that I do like on it, I just, they really get me every time. They're like in my top probably 10, 15. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do about you. Stupid ads. But anyway, I'm going to put it up here in B for now. Just because, not a lot of the tracks have too much of a hold on me except for Hold On and Relentless. But it's a good album. Again, this is the end of the initial Steve Walsh era, their golden age, so it's not going to be too low, let's be honest here. One that is going to be lower, and I hate that it's lower because I like the themes of a lot of the songs. I like Fight Fire with Fire and Everybody's My Friend, but Robbie Steinhardt, otherwise known as Hagrid from Harry Potter, he's not on this album. I mean, the album cover is of a bunch of like violinists and like an orchestra, yet there's no orchestra on the album. There's a couple there's Fight Fire with Fire, Everybody's My Friend. Those are the only two that I actually added to my playlist. Everything else is just kind of okay. This is definitely not the classic Kansas sound. I love John Elfante's voice. John Elfante's solo stuff to me is amazing. I almost like him more than Steve Walsh in some ways. Because Steve Walsh kind of, when he came back, kind of fell off vocally. But when John Elfante was with Kansas, he didn't really put out a ton of great stuff. Now, Vinyl Confessions, I think, is significantly better than this album, but Fight Fire with Fire, it's gonna go in my C tier. It's not a huge, it's not that great in terms of Kansas albums. I'm just gonna have to put it there, which is sad. I mean, they had a B side. I don't know if it was this album or Drastic, or not Drastic Measure, Vinyl Confessions, but they have Perfect Lover, which is probably one of my favorite songs by Kansas as well. And that's a John Elfante song, but that's only on their greatest hits and some kind of B-side. Or Rarity or whatever. It's on their newest Rarities album, but if that was on here, that would have lifted it up maybe, but it doesn't quite do it for me. After that, though, we got Freaks of Nature, which, of the later Steve Walsh albums, I think that this one might be my favorite. It's got some pretty decent stuff on there. I think Cold Gray Morning was good. I Can Fly. I think the song Freaks of Nature itself is pretty decent. Again, it's still not in my upper tiers. I would even say Audio Visions has more of a hold on me than this one, but of their later albums, I think it's decent. I think there's more rockin' stuff on here, kind of getting back into a more of a classic sound. I'm going to put it up here. This here is my second favorite of the later Steve Walsh era. It's got Ghosts on it, which is a decent song. One Big Sky, I actually like a decent bit. I don't really remember much else. Oh yeah, Rainmaker I think was good. There's some decent songs in this album too, but again, it's not quite where they used to be. Steve Walsh's voice is not nearly as good during these times, but I mean, it's still got a lot of good stuff. I think Robbie Steinhardt was back during this time. I can't remember, but I'm going to put it here in the B tier as well, just under Freaks of Nature. They're both quite good albums, though. But now we're getting to like the A tier, S tier stuff here. This is like the golden era. And some people are like, okay, they really didn't figure out what they were doing or anything yet. They weren't completely fleshed out or anything. But you know what? I think the self-titled album here, their very first album, might be one of my favorites because I mean, they really rocked during this phase. They got some of my favorite songs by them: Belex's Journey from Maribron, The Pilgrimage is great, Apricot, and then Death of Mother Nature's Suite is like hanging in the balance of being like a heavy metal type song. I mean, that song is just heavy. It is so good. Lonely Wind is alright, a little bit wussier. And then Can I Tell You and Bringing It Back are alright, just kind of driving songs. But I mean, this album here has got to at least be A tier, if not S tier. It's difficult for me because I'm going to try to put, I think is it 3 per row here? It might be 4 in these upper rows. I don't know. I'm going to see what I can do, but I guess for now I'll put it in S tier. It's such a great album. I mean, to come out right out of the bat in 1973 with these guys coming out with this, I mean, no one had ever made anything like this before. You know, you got the violin in there. It's kind of got that southern flair, but also all this proggy stuff in there, and awesome keyboards and riffing guitars, and just, I mean, and Steve Walsh's voice at this period is just unbelievable. I mean, probably one of the best vocalists of all time if you're looking at him from this era. So I gotta be I gotta put it up there. Some people say they're not quite there yet. They're still figuring out their style. I think this is peak Kansas. These next like 4 or 5 albums during this phase. So yeah, that's gotta be S tier. Left Overture right up into first place. I go back between this and Point of No Return quite often, but I think that Left Overture is better. Now, there is one thing, Carry On My Wayward Son, right? I've heard that song 1.5 billion times. My first college roommate, he had this as his alarm every morning, and he'd get up at like 6. And, you know, when you set a good song as an alarm and you hear it every single morning to wake up to, it's just, you start to not like it because then you associate it with, now I gotta begin my school day and everything. So that kind of ruined the song for me. Whenever I listen to the song now, I have to listen to a live version where it's a little bit different. So I usually listen to it on 2 for the Show, which is like their exit stage left. I kind of associate everything to Rush or Styx usually, but that's usually how I listen to it because otherwise it's in my head as that's my alarm. It's terrible, and it wasn't even my alarm. It was my roommate. So yeah, that kind of put a damper on that song for me. But I cannot fault it against this album because it's a great song. It's been ruined for me. But it's still gonna get top of the S tier. The Wall, one of my great favorite songs of all time. What's on My Mind is great. Miracles Out of Nowhere. I mean, come on now. Opus Insert and Magnum Opus, they both have opus in it. I forgot what opus actually means, but both of those songs are amazing. I mean, there's all sorts of like vibraphones and slapsticks and all sorts of crazy percussion stuff going on in there. Cheyenne Anthem and Questions of My Childhood are really good. I mean, the album is stacked. I've got every single song of this album on my playlist. That shows you it's a stacked album. And then we get to Mask, another just amazing album. Now, when I look at the songs on this album, I don't have all of the songs on my playlist, which usually indicates, it's not as good of an album. But I mean, the songs that are on here, I think my favorite Kansas song, Icarus Born on Wings of Steel, I mean, that just elevates the album alone. And then you got The Pinnacle, which is another one of my favorite Kansas. I keep saying everything's my favorite. They got so many good songs. The Pinnacle and Icarus are probably like in my top 5 Kansas songs. If I gotta really narrow it down, Mysteries and Mayhem is great. All the World, it's a little bit slower, but it's good. Child of Innocence and 2 Cents Worth are kind of more straight ahead, but they're still good. I don't remember anything about It Takes a Woman's Love to Make a Man and It's You, but there's nothing on this album that I remember striking me as like, this sucks. So I mean, everything during this phase was at least pretty darn good. again, because of Icarus and the Pinnacle alone, I'm gonna see. But there's so much good stuff. Wait a second. Oh, okay. I was gonna say worst song for America. For some reason, I was looking for the Fly By Night Owl. It's kind of similar because it's the second album and it's got a large bird on it. So I don't know. Okay. I thought I was losing it for a second there. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to put it at A tier. Man, I hate doing that though because those songs are just so good and I listen to them all the time. But I mean, look what's coming up. I'm gonna have to do the same thing here with Monolith. Monolith is, I would say, the last album of the Golden Age. On the Other Side is one of their best songs. People of the South Wind is great. Angels Have Fallen is good. A Glimpse of Home. The other songs on it are not too bad. I don't really remember them too much as I go through these. I mean, a lot of people, here's the thing. A lot of people, when they do these album rankings on YouTube, they prepare and listen to all the albums again and really narrow it down. Again, this is not my career, though. I'm just going based off of what really hit me and because I did do the deep dive. Whenever I do a deep dive, I go through and I add all the songs that I really like to my playlist. The ones that are okay, I kind of note in my head. And then the ones that I don't like, I just don't remember them. Again, this is better than any rap music or anything, but yeah, some of these songs like Away From You, Stay Out of Trouble, Reason to Be, I don't remember them. I simply do not remember them. But there's at least 4 or 5 songs in this album that I like a lot, especially on the other side. So it's definitely I don't think it's gonna be as high as Mask, but Monolith is definitely going in the A tier. Now we have another S tier album, of course, Point of No Return. I've got every single song in this one. Also on my playlist. On any given day, this and Leftoverture go back and forth. I mean, you got the title track, Paradox. The Spiders are really cool, like kind of instrumental, all over the place type song. Portrait He Knew is one of my favorites. Closet Chronicles is great. And then kind of some fast-paced Hagrid on the vocals. I'm going to keep calling him Hagrid. It's funny. But he rocks on the vocals and the violin at the same time for like Lightning's Hand. You got Dust in the Wind, which is kind of their first like Christian type of foray song. I know when John Alphonte does it, it's even better, I think. But that's a great song. Sparks of the Tempest is great. Nobody's Home, Hopelessly Human. I mean, I can just keep going through they're all great. So I gotta put it in here. These two could switch on any given day. It really depends on my mood. But I mean, that's just where it's gonna go. Power. Okay, now Power. This is when Steve Walsh came back. They kind of have a different stride of things going on here. The only 2 songs that I remember from this album are Secret Service and the title track, Power. It sounds different than older Kansas. It doesn't quite... It's not the same. It's definitely, I think, in the realm of the later, like, 90s Steve Walsh albums. It's not bad, but it's not great, you know? But he still sounds pretty good here, Steve Walsh, I would say. So I'm going to put it... I'm going to put it in between these. I actually really like Freaks of Nature, the songs on it that are good anyway. So I'm going to put it there for now. It's just, yeah, again, it just has a different sound. It's not peak Kansas, but it's not bad either. And I'm noticing that I'm not putting many in C tier, so I might have to start moving things down, which... I hate to have to do, but I'm going to have to do that. Okay, now we're getting to Somewhere to Elsewhere. Arriving somewhere, but not here. That's Stephen... Well, Porcupine Tree. We'll get to that eventually. All I remember from this is Icarus 2. Let me see what else I got on it. Yeah, that's it. I think Myriad was pretty good, if I remember. Again, this is usually lower for most people, and I would agree. Nothing really hit me from it. I think this is Steve Walsh's last album with him. It's again, it's a Kansas album. It's not going to be bad. But all I can remember is Icarus 2 and Myriad. So that's just gonna. I think I'm even gonna put it below Fight Fire with Fire just because I like John Alfante's vocals and the two songs on it that are good. But yeah, that's how it's gonna have to be. Song for America. Now that man, this is a great album as well. I mean, all these for again, like I'm saying, the first 5 or 6 albums are almost impossible to rank. You got Down the Road is kind of a straight ahead, but it's pretty rockin'. I like that one a lot. But the real hits on this album are Song for America, which is, they play that all the time. It's one of their biggest prog hits anyway, and I really just love the sound of that song. Love playing the drums to it as well. Lamplight Symphony is beautiful. Some rockin' sections all over the place. It's great. And then Inca Mudro, Hymn to the Atman is just, oh my gosh, it's probably as proggy as they can get, kind of sounds a lot like the first album type stuff. It's just really good stuff. But, there's 2 songs on this album that don't really hit me much either, and that's Lonely Street and The Devil Game. I remember those just kind of being straight ahead, just kind of whatever, Some of those don't hit me quite as much. But I'm going to put it in the same vein as the first album here. I mean, it's just the prog epics on this album are quite amazing. And the non-prog epics are just kind of there. I mean, it's kind of similar to Mask in a lot of ways, too. I mean, these albums would have, like, the proggy hits, which I loved, and then some, straight-ahead type of rockers, which are not bad. Again, it's not bad at all. But when you're looking for quintessential Kansas, some of those songs don't quite do it. So it can't be the top of my S tier, but it's definitely an S tier album. And then we got the Prelude Implicit. Now, this was like the first tour that I actually got to see them live on. They got Ronnie Platt on vocals. They came back hard. And I tell you what, Ronnie Platt, I actually like his vocals a good bit. Do I think he's as good as Steve Walsh in the Peak era or John Alfante? Probably not, but I mean, he's very close. And this was the first album that I actually bought from Kansas because my dad had most of these albums from before. And I actually was able to go out and buy this because, I was graduating high school at the time. I had some money, so I was like, I want to get this album. So I actually think most of the songs on this album are great. Visibility Zero was the first single I heard, and that's probably my favorite song of the album. It's a great song. The Unsung Heroes is good. Refugees, great. Voyage of 818, Camouflage, Summer, Crowded Isolation is good, and then Section 60. The only 2 I did not add are With This Heart and Rhythm in the Spirit. So I actually think this is better than most of these albums even. Even though these, like the hits on these albums, I probably like better than any song on this, except for maybe Visibility Zero. I really like that one. That rocks. It's got more good songs that resonated with me when I listened to it. So I'm going to put it up here right below Monolith. Again, the songs that are good on Audio Visions are really good. I don't know if it's going to beat Prelude Implicit right now, though. I'm going to get to The Absence of Presence after I finish with the ones that are down here. Now we got Vinyl Confessions, in which, when you look on Spotify here, I've got every single song from this album on my playlists. Some of them are only on my Christian playlist, and some of them, like most of them, are on my actual playlist. Play the Game Tonight is like one of the hits from this album. Actually, I think my favorite song from this album is probably Crossfire. But Play the Game Tonight's right up there with it. Right Away is pretty decent. Fair Exchange. Chasing Shadows, even though it doesn't have really any drums or anything in it, it's a beautiful song. I really like the vocals and just everything on it. Diamonds and Pearls is a little bit more proggy. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Windows. Windows is a bit more proggy. Diamonds and Pearls is a decent song. It's kind of in the middle for me. Face It's a great song. Borderline, on the borderline. Yeah, it's a good song. They're all very catchy during this time. And then Play On is pretty good. Again, though, it's not, even though I have every single song from this album on my playlist, and I love John Alfonte's voice, this is not classic Kansas. Okay, it doesn't sound much. I mean, there's bits and pieces because it still has Haggard on the violin and some backing vocals. It's got bits and pieces during the album that sound like classic Kansas, but it is not classic Kansas. That being said, I like every single song on it, so it cannot possibly go down any lower than A. But at the same time, it's not up here with these. So. It's kind of difficult to rank in that way. A lot of people put it lower because these are a little bit more rockin' or whatever. But I mean, the songs are just catchy and so good, and they hit close to my soul. So I gotta put it here. And then the last one, which is my phone started playing Chasing Shadows because I accidentally clicked on it. I'm just looking at all the songs in the albums. Okay, Absence of Presence. It's good. Again, I think they're doing quite well with Ronnie Platt. Their newest 2 albums have been really good. They're really coming back from what they were with Somewhere But Elsewhere, whatever the heck it's called. But it's not quite as good as Prelude Implicit, in my opinion. I mean, I have the title track on my playlist. Absence of Presence is good. Then there's Propulsion, Jets Overhead, and Throwing Mountains. Those were I actually really liked the Throwing Mountains and Jets Overhead. Those were, I think, the first 2 singles. And then Memories Down the Line is pretty. Actually, there's not many on this album that are bad. Maybe Man, that's going to be a difficult ranking, I guess. Circles of Illusion, Animals on the Roof, Memories Down the Line is good. Now, the song The River Sang, this one's an interesting one for me because the latter half of the song, like when it starts building and there's just awesome instrumental bit with the bell in the background and all that, that is just amazing. That is so heavy and like progressive. It's just great. I love the building stuff, the driving build. Yeah. The first part of the song, though, is okay. It goes from okay to amazing. So I love that song, but it's also not my favorite song just because of that first section. It's kind of all over the place. So, again, that album is going to probably go up somewhere within these 3. Actually, now looking at it, it might actually go above Prelude Implicit. I forgot how good some of these songs were. Now, Spotify, for some reason, removed some of these songs from my playlist. Maybe it's because I had the single version and not the other version. I'm going to be safe and add them anyway. But yeah, no, these 2 albums I like pretty much all. It's kind of the same as Vinyl Confessions. These 3, I'm kind of pointing to a blank space here. Forgive me. These 3, I pretty much have most of the songs from the album on my playlist, and I like them all. But they are not peak Kansas. So even though some of these albums I don't have all the songs added to my playlist, the songs that are there are so gosh darn good that I got to keep them up there. So, yeah, I think I'm going to put Absence of Presence on any given day. I might switch back and forth, but I'm going to put it above Prelude Implicit, and then Prelude Implicit I'm going to keep above Vinyl Confessions. Even though, again, those 3 can switch on any given day, just depending on my mood. I guess if I'm in for something that's really catchy with like some Christian motifs in the music and all that, I'm going to probably go for Vinyl Confessions. If I'm looking for something a little bit heavier, a little bit more proggy, I'm probably going to go for Absence of Presence or Prelude Implicit. But the only thing I got to do now is I got to even these guys out. And that means I'm going to have to move a couple down. Yeah, because this is the space that Absence of Presence would be in, or this one would be in, and then Absence of Presence would be here. So I think this is fair. We can have 1 row with 3, and the rest of them will have 4. and then that does not qualify. Again, very great catalog. I mean, Kansas, even at their worst down here, is still really good. Always been one of my favorite bands. They just got so much talent, so many talented players in the band. So, and again, I've gotten to see them live with the newest lineup, and I thought they did quite well. I would have loved to see them back in the day with Steve Walsh, or even the John Alfonte era. I mean, this tour, like, there's a live video on YouTube of it where John Alfonte's up there running around playing piano and whatnot. I would have loved to see him during that era. Of course, because I'm young and I was born in 1997, I did not get to see that, but, I'll take what I can get. And, I thought it was an excellent concert. So yeah, that is my ranking for the Kansas albums tonight. I hope you enjoyed. If you have a slightly different ranking or would like to discuss the ranking, put your comments down below. Like the video, do all the typical YouTuber things. Like and comment and click that bell. I don't really care. Do whatever works for you. Just, I hope you enjoy the video and you have a great day/night. I always record these at nights because my wife's asleep and I'm down here in my office. I can get as loud as I want. Anyway, you guys are going to start thinking I'm crazy. I might be. Anyway, you guys have a great day/night, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.